Do you have that goal, that dream, that desire that keeps trying to get your attention, but you make excuses as to why you can't achieve it? You listen to the voice of self-doubt. You silence your desires in an effort to manage your fears. You focus your energy on convincing yourself that what you want is really just not that important. But what if? What if you could step into your courage and around your fears? What if? What if you could rewire destructive messages that are playing like a loop in your brain? What if? What if these barriers could be removed and your feet were planted firmly on a path of true authenticity, joy, and success? Hi, I'm Dr. Lori. As a clinical health psychologist, speaker, and author for the past 30 years, I have helped hundreds of thousands of women step into their courage to examine and resolve their self-doubt, insecurities, and fears, guiding and supporting them to discover their most authentic power by learning these 3 core elements necessary to live a successful, joyful, and kick-ass life. Number 1, become an expert at your strengths and not your weaknesses. Let's face it, we all know what our problem areas are and our weaknesses, and we spend a tremendous amount of time dwelling on them, giving them our full attention. We become an expert at knowing and hiding them. We worry about them. We avoid situations where they may be revealed. And over time, we use them as a weapon to erode our self-confidence and our self-worth through all of that negative self-talk. Learning to become an expert not at our weaknesses, but rather in our strengths is in fact the game changer. But not doing it in a superficial way, but rather by digging deep and using strategies to fully understand and identify your talents and abilities and skills, and then owning them, improving them, and applying them in all areas of your life. When you become an expert at your strengths, your confidence in all areas will absolutely improve. Number 2, harness the power of choices. Our choices are such a powerful component to who we are. But sometimes choosing, deciding, and owning the responsibilities for our choices can be difficult. It can leave us with the decision not to decide or choosing not to make a choice. Sometimes we wait until we gather all that information or until somebody else validates our choice, or we're waiting for just that right time. But indecision is stressful, producing harmful agents to our brain and eroding at our confidence. There is power in making choices, particularly when we align them with our intentions. Number 3, build your resilience. Resilience is the process of adapting or bouncing back after facing adversity or setbacks. Effective, successful, and joyful people tend to be more resilient and more optimistic. They get it. So how do we build our resilience? It all starts with the health of our resilient brain. Now, our brain has over 100 billion neurons or nerve cells and trillions of connections. These connections are how different areas of the brain communicate with each other. The health of our brain starts with something called neuroplasticity, which refers to the strength of these connections. And we actually have the power to build those connections and essentially increase the strength and resilience of our own brain. A brain that is resilient can protect itself from stress, trauma, and even neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's disease. We build a resilient brain by eating healthy, especially foods from the Mediterranean diet. Research is very clear that things like blueberries, broccoli, turmeric, fatty fishes all reduce the inflammation of the brain and reduce some of the stress hormones, making the brain more resilient and healthy. Effective sleep is critical. And I don't mean sleep like a couple of hours here or there. Efficient, effective sleep that is consistent and part of a normal routine helps regenerate and restores components of the brain. Being a lifelong learner, learning something novel, new, and different is also critical to building our most resilient brain. And of course, staying socially connected. We know that isolation, loneliness, and depression robs our brain's ability for coping effectively and reduces the resilience of our brain. When we lead with our strengths, harness the power of our choices, and build our resilient selves, from our brain to our mind to our body and out to our relationships, we thrive. Come on, step into your big girl shoes of courage and lead that kick-ass life that you deserve.